Okay, hi everybody, Rabbi David Fohrman, welcome back. We were talking about how it is that Aaron would go about this task over here. Love peace, pursue peace, love people, bring them close to Torah. What would that look like in real life? So the commentary Avot Rav Natan quotes a midrash that explains this idea. It says, first of all, how is it that Aaron would go about pursuing peace? So basically it tells a story, and the story works like this. Imagine you had two people that were at war with each other, that were in conflict with each other. We'll call those people Bob and Sam, right? So Aaron would go over to Bob, and Aaron would say, Bob, you have no idea how bad Sam feels about what he's done to you. He's all broken up inside. He's thinking to himself, I feel so terrible that I hurt Bob. How could I ever make it up to him? And he's struggling with this. And what he would then do is go up to the other disputant, and he'd say the same thing about the other guy. He says, you have no idea how much he feels, how terrible he feels. He's all broken up inside. He doesn't know how he can ever make it up to you. And basically he told the same thing to both of these people, and the story goes that when they would meet in the street, they would hug each other, and they would make up. That's how Aaron would pursue peace. Now, I don't know about you, maybe I have a jaundiced eye and I'm more cynical than the average guy, but when I heard that story, it just sounded like too good to be true. I mean, first of all, what's the moral of the story? I mean, if we want to be cynical about it, Aaron was lying, right? He was lying to everybody. He was saying to person A, you can't believe how bad person B feels. Person B didn't feel bad at all, right? Person B was doing just fine. And then he goes to person B and says, you can't believe how bad person A was feeling. That's not true. Person A wasn't feeling bad. Neither of these guys were feeling bad. So, what's the message here? That it's okay to do anything to pursue peace. You can lie, cheat, and steal. The ends justify the means. You can do whatever you want. I mean, is that the message? Again, maybe I'm being cruel and hard-hearted here, but is that really the message? And the second thing is, again, maybe just my cynical side of me, but would it really have worked? What if they met on the street and started killing each other? You idiot, how come you did this to me? And because, in fact, neither of them was really feeling bad. They're both feeling very self-righteous about their own perspectives. So, two questions. Would this have worked? And if it would have worked, at what cost? Is this justified? Are there any moral problems with Aaron just sort of lying completely, these bald-faced lies to each side? Now, Avot Rav Natan continues and portrays the second piece of this Mishnah. We had asked how the two relate to each other, what the second piece is doing, how does it fit? But I think if we begin to look at what Avot Rav Natan says about this, we may be able to get some clues. And here's what it says. Here's the story it tells. How is it that Aaron would love people and bring them close to Torah? So it says that, you imagine you have this guy and he'd done some terrible sin, some crime about which he's very ashamed. And Aaron found out about that and he knew that to be true. So what Aaron would do is he would make friends with this guy and would get close to him and smile at him and be very close and warm towards him. And eventually the guy would start feeling, oh man, if Aaron really knew just how bad I was, he'd never be friends with me. And I feel terrible. I feel so ashamed that I've done this terrible stuff. And Aaron's friendly with me, and if he really knew. And this would propel people to tshuva, to repent and to change their ways and mend their ways. And again, sort of the same questions about this, which is, again, does the ends justify the means? I mean, it seems rather duplicitous of Aaron, manipulative of him. Here it is. He's pretending that he doesn't know about the truth about this guy, but of course he does. So isn't he just sort of manipulating him with his friendship and trying to? He has this plan about having him do tshuva and repent. And again, what's the message? That you can manipulate people into changing for the better and pretend you don't know what you really do know. Again, the whole thing just sounds crass, manipulative, manipulative and dubious morally. So I hate to throw cold water on this, but I want to challenge you to think about this. Is there any way that you could think about these two stories that Avos Rav Nosson tells and try to think about this? Is there a way to solve this? Is this truly duplicitous? Or is it not duplicitous? Is this truly morally dubious? Or is there a way of looking at this which actually makes sense out of what Aaron's doing and actually makes it likely that it would actually work instead of not work? I believe that something's happening here that really makes sense. And once you understand what's happening that really makes sense, you actually see these two sides of the Mishnah are in fact the same. Aaron was actually pursuing the same sort of methodology, so to speak, in relationships in each of these cases. In number one, pursuing peace, in that first story that Avos Rav Nosson tells, and in that second story that Rav Nosson tells, loving people and bringing them close to Torah. So I want to challenge you to think about this. Is there a way of making sense what Aaron is doing? And is there a way of seeing how these two stories are not really two stories, but really one story? So let's come back and talk about that.